All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. This time, it has been a year, over a year actually, of ownership of this phone. This is the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. Now, some of you guys did not upgrade to the latest version, which would be the S26 Ultra. Some of you guys said, you know what, Jay? It's not worth it. And you're right. It's not worth it. This phone wasn't for S25 Ultra people. Obviously, it was not. I'll reference that every now and then, just for reference. By the way, this video is being recorded with the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge. Recently turned you on to my year review of that phone, and it is absolutely still amazing. I love it a lot. So let's hardware and design, folks. Over a year later, it hasn't changed. I don't feel any different about this phone. I do use this phone, by the way. I rotate. Remember, I get a Samsung phone in rotation all the time. So I do use this phone. It may not be like my daily driver anymore, but it is still in rotation, and it's a good phone. However, I still feel the same way about the hardware. I think these corners are way too sharp. And just the overall phone feels rigid compared to the S26 Ultra and even the S24 Ultra. But this design itself is really nice. The individual camera modules here, these things look like it's like in 3D. It's actually pretty cool. It's a really nice touch. You don't need any of the camera protectors on here because it looks like they've kind of just built them right into the phone. But this is a really nice touch. And I feel like this hardware, a lot of people will like it. It'll go down as a really solid piece of hardware. It does feel premium. But when you hold other phones like the Edge that I'm recording with, it just feels like a brick. But nonetheless, I felt like that since day one. I think these corners are too sharp, and it kind of digs into the palm of your hand. And then, thus them going to a more rounded corners here on the S26 Ultra kind of improves that. It's literally a little bit more round, and it feels, you can feel the difference. However, those of you that kept this phone, it's not a bad design at all. It's actually a really nice design. Those are just things that I don't like about it, and I haven't liked since day one, because I came from the S24 Ultra, and the S24 Ultra feels completely different than this phone. But they gave it a really boxy design, and overall it feels industrial. And then the color I chose doesn't help. This is that blue color. It may not look like it, but this is the blue hue. It's okay, but it's a very industrial design. Now, aside from that, what you're looking at here is one of the most beautiful displays, as always, with Samsung. They have just phenomenal displays on all their phones, and it's I don't want to say it's the king of displays in the US, but I will say if you have this phone, you have one of the best bars. You have a 6.9 inch, but why don't they just go ahead and make this 7 inches? Why don't they do that? Just make it 7 inches, man. I mean, it's more than enough to just stretch a little bit more. But they're in their safety net, and this is where they are. They're going to stay with 6.9, and it's just beautiful, man. Let me show you something. Let me show you a video. The screen just really feels, it pops. It's a beautiful display. One thing about Samsung displays, you don't have to have them really bright up in the brightness. It's just immaculate. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, bright, vivid, punchy, vibrant display. It's a good display. And so those who have been using this for the year long that I've been using it, I'm sure you still love this. Regardless of how I feel about the boxiness, now that is where the display plays a huge part. The boxiness really does give it a more cinematic look than a more rounded phone. The boxiness on here makes for a wonderful viewing content and experience, and a media like cinematic type feel when you're watching a movie. The screen is bright and vivid. The speakers are always on point. The speakers, I don't have the mic turned towards them. I'm going to turn the volume up. I leave my Corvette emblem on there. I leave the E-Ray badge on there because, I like to hear people say, oh, that's the E-Ray. So it's a cool feeling to know that you have something. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful speakers. You will be immersed And if you pair that with your earbuds pros like I do, it's even better. You can seclude it off and get a really good feel, like if you're on a plane or something like that. But overall, folks, this is in fact a beautiful display, a beautiful set of speakers, and it just works. It's just good. It's just a great look. Now I touched on the software for the Edge, and it's going to be the same for this phone, man. Like there's nothing that you don't have at your disposal, but you get more. You get the S Pen. This is where this phone goes to the next level, and it really does add benefits. And I can see why a lot of people, want or would buy this phone if they're an active lifestyle business owner or just a person who draws and doodles. I used to follow this young lady, and she was a student or something like that, and she bought all the notes and she bought all the tablets with the pens, and she was an artist. That's what she was. She really showed you how to draw with these, and it was incredible. But I can't find her anymore. I don't know what her channel is anymore. Young sister used to wear glasses, and she was an art student or something like that. So she really genuinely got the use out of this phone. And then again, business owners or anybody who's predominantly office setting, they should gravitate towards this phone, because what's happening is there's a lot of people out there that don't use the S Pen at all, never pull it out unless it's a quick signature for something, and then they're on to the next. They just put it back in. They really just want the canvas, and they just really want this big piece of real estate here to watch content or consume content or just email, text, whatever you use it for. But really not pulling out the S Pen at all, really, you're not missing out per se, but you're just underutilizing a feature that is extraordinary. Now, I fall in that category of editing. I like when I'm editing on the phone, the S Pen in those little spots with the programs on this phone. Now, this may be a big screen, but it's nothing like popping up on your computer, a big computer screen, and editing. It's just nothing like that. So that's where the S Pen for me works great. There's no Bluetooth functionality anymore, which is a huge con to me. But I used to like starting and stopping video. It helps for me because I do a lot of one take videos, or just, not wanting to reach up and stop the camera. That's just kind of a bummer, because you can start any of the Samsung phones with hand gestures. You don't need to touch the phone to start your video or take a photo, but you can't stop it that way. For video, you can't stop the video. You can obviously, like I said, take a photo with it, but you can't stop the video anymore. So you got to reach up and touch it. So I think you might be able to do that this one or something. I got to redo it, research it. But other phones I know you can actually stop video with hand motions, but Samsung, I don't believe that I can, or at least I've never researched and tried. I was just so used to the S Pen. Nonetheless, hardware is on point. Software is loaded and baked up with things that you probably won't even, use. Some people never open up that side menu there. They never get into this menu and get all these different apps that you can put in there. They don't do it. But it is there, and it's okay to be there because it's not really draining the battery. Battery on this thing obviously settled in, and after using this for a year now, I always tell you the truth about me using the phones. So obviously with this phone, I used it for about 6 months or so straight through. Like I try to do all the phones to give you all those videos and give you real life updates. After that, I rotate in and out, and I've been rotating in and out of this phone a little more than some of the others, depending on where I'm going or something like that. But again, the last more than 6 lives of its life, the phone's life, six months of this phone's life, it's been on and off a little more than some of the others, because I was really anticipating the Galaxy S26 Ultras arrive, and I was just kind of like, man, I wonder, how I have a glass on here, by the way, a privacy glass, if you're wondering why the screen might look different, and this one has a clear glass. Yeah. But I was anticipating this phone, and, I told you guys, I'm not trading this phone in. I don't care what the trade-ins are. I think it was $1,000, just in case I didn't really like the S26 Ultra, and I love the S26 Ultra. But this phone right here is still the complete package. Now, an area, again, that battery life, absolutely great. Battery life is phenomenal, at least for me. When I say phenomenal, I don't mean it's giving me 3 and 4 days. I just mean that it's good enough to be good enough. Like it's is going to give me at least a day, and then I can easily make it with 7 hours of real usage. That's just how it is. Now, I could go longer on the usage, meaning screen on time, if I stayed on it all the time, but I don't. I don't like to be on social media too much. I don't like to be on my phone too much. I try to take it easy. So yeah, you got a great design, a little rough around the edges to me, a little too industrial for me. But you've got a lot of software features on here. You've got great battery. You've got a beautiful screen. The performance is off the charts. And then the last thing is, to me, that I want to discuss at this point is just the camera quality. Let me see if I can get into my photo album here and see some things I can share about the cameras, because they are absolutely great. One thing I will say about the cameras, I test out the 100 zoom or whatever, but that's still kind of, on the gimmicky side. I don't need to zoom in 100. I'm not a photographer. And, if I'm trying to see something, okay, yeah, I'll go. But the zooming in definitely isn't the best quality. I mean, they're going to use AI to do a bunch of things, but the cameras are good for regular camera stuff. Let me see if I can pop this open here. And I use this phone a lot to record. I just feel like these cameras are great, man. Like I intentionally focus on portrait style, everything, video, portrait, if I'm doing video vlogs. But photos for me are typically in portrait mode. I think that really does a lot. Now, when you start to zoom in on portrait shots, you can find little blemishes and blurred things, and but in the end, these are great shots just to post on social media or share with a family member or just anything like that. You will find that the quality of these cameras are actually great, man. I mean, they are phenomenal. They really are good. And so I do a lot of video with it. I take a lot of photos, thumbnails, just the regular rotation of all of my devices. And I really feel like Samsung has dialed it in. They've dialed it in to where, again, it's safe. They're not making any mistakes, so to speak, with the hardware and, and software. But they're not taking any major risks anymore. So hopefully this Fold 8 wide comes out if it's true, which I believe it already is, because I already got the inside thing on that. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a switch and a change for those who want something different finally from Samsung. So yeah, this phone's cameras are more than enough. And I think for the average person, the front and the rear cameras are really going to blow you away. But the front camera is actually really good. It's a really good front camera. And I can appreciate that, because if you want to vlog, you can go into the camera and turn on portrait mode or just whatever you want to do, and you get the right lighting right, especially outdoors. It's just going to be a great, great camera. So again, if you're just tuning in, I'm recording with the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge. And here's my S26 Ultra. The S26 Ultra did improve on lots of things for this S25 Ultra, but definitely not enough for me to tell you, hey, officially trade in. Now, the times that I've said that is when you're just getting a killer deal. Like if they offer you like $1,250 or $1,150 for this, and you only had to come out of pocket like a couple $100. I mean, after you've had it for a year, move up if you want to, spend that couple $100, because most people spend a couple $100 on like junk food and stuff like that, or just things they don't even need, just frivolous spending. So upgrade your tech. Yeah, but I'm definitely not going to push for a person to always just buy the next thing. And I always tell people, live vicariously through me, man. If you don't want to do it, I'll do it for you, because I really love buying all the latest tech. And even me buying it, I'm still looking for a good deal. I'm looking for a certified bonus. This is going to be too good to be true. And for me, both of these phones came that way. I got both of these phones for half off at launch. And so that's why I didn't trade this in, because all money isn't good money. I didn't need to. I think I got offered my total off on this phone or trade in on this phone came to my military and all this stuff came to about, I don't know, $1,250 or something like that. But I still didn't do it. I was like, I'd rather keep it, reference it. And, I can still trade it in later for the next version of this phone, like the 20. If it's going to be called the 27, I could move on at that point and then have a 27, 26, or just keep it. because there's always someone in the family that might need a phone, and that's where my stuff goes pretty much. If somebody just really needs something, here you go, take your pick, or here's a nice huge upgrade for you, especially if they're coming from like an older model. But to be transparent, nobody in my family except for my spouse has these phones. Everybody else has an iPhone or a really older phone. They don't really switch phones like that. So nonetheless, the S25 Ultra, if you have one, keep it. It's a great phone. You're not missing out on anything by going to the S26 Ultra. You still got the same S Pen. You still got the same functionality. You still got the same everything. And it's just it's a good phone. I don't see a reason why a person would switch from this. But every year, the companies will do things to try to entice you to switch to the new thing. And again, the only time I would tell you probably do it is if you just don't have to come out of pocket very much. If you don't have to come out of pocket a lot, go for it, man. I mean, if you can spend $39 to $150, or excuse me, $49, $50 to $150 and get the new version, or somewhere close to that with this, you're comfortable with paying, go for it. I mean, get those little extra little things, because a lot of times those little extra things are worth it, depending on how much you pay for your original phone and then how much you're coming out of pocket. The extra $100 to $200, maybe $300, is probably worth it because you're getting definitely a slight upgrade in hardware. And then the software is probably going to be the same. And so that's what you're looking at. You might get some battery improvements, but Samsung hasn't been doing that lately. They've been keeping the same battery sizes, and they're just upgrading the internals to make this all work together to make it more efficient. So it's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Over a year with the Galaxy S25 Ultra. I still dig it. Even with the little flaws on the hardware that I dislike, it's still a great phone, and I still could recommend it to people because now you can definitely probably get a good deal on one opposed to going to the S26 Ultra. So if you still have yours and you've had it for over a year like me, let me know in the comments how you feel about it. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.